it's so much better than most people's that everybody who fights him doesn't understand what he can do until he does it. He just whips.
Fast.
Ryan Garcia just dropped training footage that has the entire boxing world losing their minds. We're talking about a fighter who's been written off, criticized, and doubted at every turn, suddenly looking like a completely different animal in the gym. The hand speed is lightning fast, his defense is tighter than we've ever seen, and his conditioning looks absolutely ridiculous. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't just about looking good in training. This is about a young man who's been through hell and back, facing public breakdowns, family drama, and career-threatening controversies, now trying to prove he belongs at the elite level of boxing. And the stakes couldn't be higher because on February 21st, he's stepping into the ring with Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title, and everyone knows this might be his last real shot at redemption.
Powerful distance management, angles that it comes from, it comes up, it comes around, it just hits you faster than you know it's supposed to get there. It's so much quicker and has so much pop on it. It's so dangerous. And like he fought Devin Haney, who is one of the best pure boxers in the sport. He's so good. But he just didn't have the understanding yet.
A guy that's confident, he's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, you know?
Ryan is a brilliant fighter. I'm not saying that he's a bad fighter or anything, but he's a brilliant fighter. And I mean, probably got one of the best left hooks in boxing history.
So would you be yelling, throw the hook?
I think I would be, that's his bread and butter, so that's what he needs to do.
You like the horse shirt?
Yeah, I like to feel like my punch, because I could deliver it where I want it, just dig in there. But with Campbell, I was like, all right, I just gotta do it.
Yeah, because you're right, you can feel.
The transformation we're seeing in Garcia's camp is honestly jaw-dropping when you consider where this kid was just months ago. Remember, this is the same fighter who was posting cryptic messages on social media, dealing with personal issues, and having people question his mental state. Now he's in the gym grinding like his life depends on it, putting in those brutal sessions that separate champions from pretenders. The speed drills are insane. We're talking about combinations that are so fast the camera can barely catch them. His defensive improvements are what really caught my attention though, because that's always been the knock on Garcia. People said he was too wild, too reckless, relied too much on that devastating left hook. But watch this new footage and you'll see a fighter who's actually listening to instruction, working on fundamentals, and building a complete game. The conditioning work is next level, 2 long sparring sessions, intense cardio, strength training that's designed specifically for the welterweight division. Because let's be real, moving up in weight class isn't just about gaining a few pounds. It's about facing bigger, stronger opponents who can take your best shot and keep coming forward.
Head. 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 Head.
How are you? What's up, champ?
What's up, man? How you doing?
You good? Looking good, man. Looking good. Sharp, huh? Yeah. He's on the ring.
Yes.
But here's where things get absolutely wild. Oscar de la Hoya showed up at Garcia's training camp. Now, if you've been following boxing, you know these two have had a relationship that's been rockier than a mountain road. We're talking about serious business disputes, public arguments, and moments where it seemed like they'd never work together again. De La Hoya built Golden Boy Promotions into a powerhouse, but his relationship with Garcia has been complicated from day one. There were contract issues, disagreements about fight selection, and times when Garcia publicly criticized his own promoter. So when Oscar walks into that gym, it's not just a casual visit. This is a statement. This is De La Hoya saying, I believe in this kid again, or maybe, I need this kid to succeed because my company's reputation is on the line. Either way, the optics are massive. You don't show up to a fighter's camp unless you're invested in the outcome. And for Garcia, having his promoter's support could be the psychological boost he needs, or it could add even more pressure to an already high-stakes situation.
y luego 4 y 5. La que está haciendo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y aquí. Okay. Still good? Yeah. 3, 4, 5. Y ahora. After. 3, 4, 5.
What's really striking about this camp is how different Garcia's approach has become compared to his previous training cycles. We're seeing a level of discipline and professionalism that, frankly, we haven't seen from him before. In the past, Garcia's camps were sometimes chaotic social media distractions, outside drama bleeding into his preparation, questions about whether he was taking his opponents seriously enough. But this time around, everything feels locked in. His coaches are focusing on fundamentals that should have been addressed years ago. Better footwork so he's not just standing there trading shots. Smarter punch selection so he's not headhunting with that left hook every single exchange. They're working on making him a complete boxer, not just a highlight reel waiting to happen. The sparring sessions are longer and more intense because they know Barrios is going to try to rough him up, lean on him, make it a dog fight. At welterweight, you can't just rely on speed and power. You need to be able to grind through tough rounds, handle adversity, and stay composed when things get messy. And that's exactly what they're preparing for.
Born and raised, man.
And Chula Vista, baby.
Chula Vista boy. You've been hitting this since you were a baby. Huh?
Not this exact one, but similar. He used to the shot.
Come on.
And he used to
I got calluses
he used to keep
everywhere,
his head like here.
Yeah, I was right here. I was always right here.
And they say, don't do that. And you just keep doing it.
I never listened.
I
knew what I was doing.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Garcia's diet and physical preparation for this fight is getting serious attention because it represents a complete lifestyle change. We're not just talking about cutting weight or getting in shape for a fight. This is about transforming his entire approach to being a professional athlete. The nutrition plan is designed to keep him lean but energized, which is crucial when you're doing multiple training sessions per day. But here's what's really interesting. The discipline required for this kind of dietary commitment often translates to mental discipline in other areas. When a fighter can stick to a strict eating plan for months, avoid temptations, and maintain consistency even when they're tired or stressed, it usually means they're developing the kind of mental toughness that shows up on fight night. Garcia's always had the physical tools, but questions about his dedication and professionalism have followed him throughout his career. If he can maintain this level of discipline through an entire training camp, it suggests he might finally be maturing into the complete fighter everyone always said he could become.
A lot of talkers out there. Everybody talk. Become a two-time world champion by accident. Line 19. Line 19. The truth is coming. Downhill.
But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Garcia has been making some bold statements about what he's going to do to Barrios on February 21st. We're talking about predictions of dominance, promises to take control from the opening bell, and guarantees of victory that sound confident but also carry massive risk. When a fighter talks this much trash before a fight, they better back it up because the boxing world has a long memory. Garcia's saying he's going to outbox Barrios, hurt him with combinations, and prove that his move up to welterweight isn't just about chasing a title. It's about establishing himself as a force in the division. The confidence is either genuine belief based on what he's seeing in training, or it's psychological warfare designed to plant doubt in his opponent's mind. Either way, it's putting extra pressure on Garcia to deliver a performance that matches his words. Because if he comes out flat, gets outworked, or worse yet, gets stopped by Barrios, all this confident talk is going to look foolish and damage his credibility even further. Now here's where things get really messy. Garcia's former trainer, Joe Goosen, is now working in Mario Barrios' corner. Let me tell you something. This is the kind of drama that makes boxing more interesting than any soap opera. Goosen knows Garcia's tendencies, his weaknesses, his habits in the ring, and now he's sharing all that information with the opponent. Garcia has called Goosen a traitor in press conferences, and you can see the genuine emotion and anger when he talks about it. This isn't just business to Garcia. He feels personally betrayed by someone he trusted with his career. But here's the thing about boxing: loyalty is rare, and business always comes first. Goosen is a professional trainer who needs to work, and when a world champion like Barrios offers you a job, you take it. The awkwardness of the situation is obvious, but Goosen has been clear that he's not going to let Garcia's feelings affect his decision to work with whoever pays him. From a strategic standpoint, this gives Barrios a huge advantage because he's getting insider information about Garcia's fighting style, his mental approach, and potentially his weaknesses that only someone who worked with him closely would know.
Today we're going to be cooking tortellini with chicken. We're going to be having some carbs in this meal and some protein. It all depends on where we are in the camp, how much weight we are away from our fight weight, where it will determine on what kind of meals we will be having to make sure that we have as much energy and to make sure that we are meeting the weight. We're ahead of schedule. We got about 2 weeks left. From here on out, we're on cruise control. He's super consistent with his training. He's allowed to eat this meal right now. There you go, man.
Feeling great. Gio's cooking is really good. super good.
Here's a little snack. This is to get all the sweet cravings. It's a healthy version. Rice cake, almond butter, and some chocolate.
The bigger picture here is what trainer Robert Garcia has been saying about Ryan's pattern of switching trainers. And listen, when Robert Garcia talks about boxing, you need to pay attention because this man has worked with champions and knows what it takes to succeed at the highest level. He's pointing out that Garcia has already burned through 3 elite-level trainers. We're talking about respected professionals who have guided other fighters to world titles and major success. Now Garcia is training primarily with his father, and while family loyalty is admirable, Robert is questioning whether that's the best situation for a fighter who needs discipline and structure. The concern isn't about his father's knowledge or dedication. It's about whether Garcia is willing to be held accountable by someone who will challenge him, push him, and tell him things he doesn't want to hear. Elite trainers don't just teach technique, they demand complete commitment. They set strict rules, and they won't tolerate excuses or half measures. When a fighter keeps changing trainers, it raises questions about whether they're coachable or if they just want yes men around them who won't challenge their bad habits.
You're royalty. You feel like you're a top dog, you're the king. And I think that's what everybody's shooting for, to be that king over everybody, king over the opponents, king over the division, king over, you want to be the king, just like LeBron James. He's King James, he's king of the court. I want to be king.
Max Kellerman raised a crucial point that cuts to the heart of Garcia's problems. The question of whether Garcia has ever truly submitted to a trainer's authority and discipline. In boxing, talent alone isn't enough at the championship level. You need structure, consistency, and the ability to follow a game plan even when things get tough. Kellerman is wondering if Garcia has ever really allowed a top trainer to take complete control of his preparation, or if he's always maintained too much input in decisions that should be left to the professionals. Think about it like this: trainers like Freddie Roach, Robert Garcia, or Joe Goosen have worked with world champions because they know how to prepare fighters for elite competition. They have systems, methods, and standards that have been proven to work. But if a fighter can't accept that leadership, can't follow the program completely, then all that expertise is wasted. Kellerman's comparison to the NFL is perfect. Successful teams have clear hierarchies. Everyone knows their role, and players trust the coaching staff even when they don't understand every decision. The fighters who struggle often want to be their own boss instead of learning from people who have already achieved what they're trying to accomplish.
Training him.
Look at my lips. Oh, he already know. This is about to be a, oh, it's gonna be bad, because I know all that. I know what he's training like, I know everything. You know, they could say, like, oh, he knows, but he didn't train with me long enough. been knowing Joe since I was 17. I know exactly, and I haven't trained with him. I just watched him, so I know exactly how he trains his fighter, exactly what they're doing. So to me, it was like, oh, thank God you gave me an advantage. Like, it's just another advantage for me. And, you know, word leaks, things leak, you know. Joe was a part of that. I don't want to get too into it, but, you know.
You think Joe was leaking stuff out of
I don't know. I didn't say that. Allegedly. I don't know. I have no clue.
Mario, a lot of trainers in boxing. Why'd you go with the one that used to train Ryan Garcia?
I mean, it was like, I'm in like a position with these next couple years. I want to do as much as I can with boxing.
Mikey Garcia's analysis of this fight brings up the mental aspect that could determine everything on February 21st. Mikey knows what it takes to compete at the elite level, and he's saying that Garcia's mindset will be the deciding factor against Barrios. Here's why that's so important. Garcia has all the physical tools to win this fight. The speed, the power, the athleticism are all there. But boxing at the championship level is as much mental as it is physical. Can Garcia stay composed when Barrios starts roughing him up? Can he stick to the game plan when his natural instincts tell him to start swinging for the fences? Can he handle the pressure of fighting for a world title while dealing with all the outside noise and criticism? Barrios is bigger, more experienced at welterweight, and he's going to try to turn this into a grinding, physical fight that tests Garcia's mental toughness. If Garcia comes in mentally sharp and disciplined, he can outbox Barrios and potentially hurt him with his superior hand speed. But if his mind isn't right, if he's distracted or unfocused, then all that talent becomes irrelevant because Barrios will find ways to neutralize his advantages and impose his own style on the fight.
Not just Joe. This man calls the Avengers. I call him the traitor. They got Wally, you got Justin Fortune, even though he was one time. We're not too, mad at him. But we do got some gifts for them. Everybody's probably wondering why I'm wearing the backpack.
Oh my gosh. Do I have to?
Oh, this one's for Wally, but we'll save that. We'll save Joe's first.
Trainer, right?
Oh, no, yeah.
Right.
You are the program.
I hope.
The trainer. Joe. There you go. Wally somewhere. Wally.
But here's the controversy that's been bubbling under the surface. Boxing insiders are questioning whether Garcia even deserves this title shot so soon after his loss to Gervonta Davis. Jeff Mayweather has been particularly critical, suggesting that Garcia's behavior around the Haney fight raised serious questions about his professionalism and readiness for elite competition. Mayweather's point is that Garcia seemed to downplay his own preparation, acted like he wasn't taking training seriously, and generally conducted himself in a way that made people question his commitment to the sport. Now, some of that might have been Garcia playing mind games or dealing with personal issues, but the perception in boxing circles is that he hasn't earned his way back to a title fight through his performances in the ring. Critics argue that he's getting this opportunity because of his name, value, and social media following, not because he's proven he belongs at the championship level. That adds another layer of pressure to this fight, because Garcia needs to prove that he deserves to be in there with Barrios, not just that he can win.
Heated press conference after all. First thoughts, what do you make of, obviously, the heated press conference that, you got a t-shirt from Ryan, and obviously he said some things.
Well, I didn't accept the t-shirt, so I didn't get anything from Ryan.
Were you surprised that he came, from that direction? Were you surprised at how he handled the situation, knowing that you guys spent, a couple of camps together?
I don't know. I really don't know what the hell he's talking about, to tell you the truth, but that's all right. I mean, I don't want to spend time trying to figure it out. I thought I explained myself at the dais as best I could. But, I don't know what's going through another man's head about me.
Trainer Greg Garcia's assessment of this fight perfectly captures the uncertainty surrounding Garcia's current state as a fighter. Hackett is basically saying that nobody really knows which version of Ryan Garcia is going to show up on fight night, and that's honestly a damning indictment of where Garcia is in his career right now. Think about elite fighters. When they step into the ring, you know what you're getting. You might not know who wins, but you know they'll be prepared, focused, and ready to execute their game plan. With Garcia, there are legitimate questions about his mental preparation, his focus, and whether he can handle the pressure of a world title fight. Hackett's concerns about Garcia's camp habits and outside distractions suggest that even people in the boxing industry aren't confident that Garcia has made the necessary changes to succeed at this level. The fact that the outcome feels unpredictable isn't because both fighters are evenly matched. It's because Garcia's consistency and mental state are question marks that won't be answered until the bell rings.
On stage that a fighter has told you that?
Told me what?
Where he said he was disappointed that you were training the opponent.
That he was disappointed with?
You training his opponent.
Yeah. No, that's the first time I've heard that. Yeah. No doubt. What?
Does it hurt you, like as a trainer, as a man?
Look, I've known Ryan since he's been a kid. You know.
That's why I hurt him so much, don't you think? You took it personal. You said the long rides. You're talking about the amateur days.
I know. Look, I've got a heart, okay? I understand, but you know, it's like I say, I really don't even like talking about it because, you know, it seems like it's very personal. And
Mario Barrios' response to all this drama shows the mindset of a true champion. He's basically telling Garcia to bring his best because there won't be any excuses when they get in the ring. Barrios wants Garcia at 100% because he knows that beating a fully prepared, motivated Garcia would be a statement victory that establishes his credibility as a world champion. There's also some psychological warfare happening here. By saying he wants Garcia at his best, Barrios is projecting confidence that he can win regardless of which version of Garcia's shows up. It's a way of putting pressure back on Hackett while positioning himself as the more professional, more prepared fighter. Barrios has been steadily building his resume, staying active, and conducting himself like a champion should. He doesn't have the social media following or the name recognition that Garcia has, but he has something that might be more valuable: Garcia consistency and professionalism. When Barrios says there will be no excuses, he's sending a message that this fight will reveal who's really ready for championship-level boxing and who's just playing the part.
21st in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena, billed as The Ring. High stakes. Roberts, what's your thought on that matchup?
Look, it's a good matchup for Ryan. I think Ryan has the skills, the power, the speed to actually go and become champion. But there's a few things that I see that might not be in his favor. And look, Barrios is dedicated. I know him. He's actually a good friend, a good person. And they chose him because they think Ryan has everything it takes to become champion. Become the world heavyweight champion, because they're already planning on huge fights with Devin Haney and whatever out there for Ryan. But the fact that Ryan, has gone through 3 top trainers that would have done a great job: Eddie Reynoso, Joe Goosen, and Derek James.
Correct.
And he's not training with neither of them. He's training with his dad, which I'm not saying the dad is not, the dad brought him through the amateurs, but when he left his dad or went to seek a different trainer.
This fight represents Garcia's last real chance at redemption, and everyone in boxing knows it. After the loss to Gervonta Davis, the public struggles with his personal life and all the questions about his professionalism. Garcia needs a signature victory to prove he belongs among the sport's elite fighters. This isn't just about winning a world title. It's about silencing critics who say he's more social media star than serious boxer. It's about proving that his talent can overcome the instability and drama that has surrounded his career. Every aspect of his preparation is being scrutinized because people want to see if he's finally matured into the complete fighter that his natural abilities suggested he could become. The boxing world is watching to see if Garcia can execute a disciplined game plan, handle adversity in the ring, and perform under the massive pressure that comes with a world title fight. If he can beat Barrios convincingly, it changes the entire narrative around his career and opens doors to the biggest fights in boxing. But if he falls short, loses focus, or gets outworked by Barrios, it might confirm what critics have been saying: that Garcia has all the talent in the world, but lacks the mental toughness and professionalism required to succeed at the championship level.
Big Baby Miller pointed it out, because there's no structure Like, and hopefully that'll happen with Zuffa Boxing, and I am a part of Zuffa Boxing, full disclosure. You know, the first fight coming up on the 23rd.
Oh, congrats, man. Congrats,
but you need
So
some
I got
kind
two guys
of.
on that card,
There
so
you
that's
go.
good.
You need some kind of.
Right.
So, well, the undercard has not been announced yet, but yeah, like we could talk about
I didn't say the names, but yeah, two of them.
But we need some kind of structure. In the NFL, the guy has to sit there for the media interview. He shows up on time. He's got to do it. And to give you an NFL analogy, think about the Broncos, right? When they had Russell Wilson over there and he had his own office and everything, and it was nothing. It was dysfunctional. Then they hired Sean Payton.
Cut it out.
As a coach, that's like going to train with Goosen or going to train with a world-class trainer, right? And you knew as soon as Sean Payton.
So here's what we're really looking at on February 21st. A defining moment that will either launch Garcia back into the elite tier of boxing or potentially end his hopes of ever becoming a legitimate world champion. The frequent trainer changes, the personal drama, the questions about his dedication have all led to this moment where he has to prove himself against a champion who represents everything Garcia hasn't been: consistent, professional, and ready for elite competition. The talent has always been there, but talent without discipline and mental toughness only gets you so far in boxing. Here's my question for you. Do you think Garcia's natural ability is enough to overcome all the instability and questions about his preparation? Or will Barrios expose him as a fighter who never reached his potential? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this fight is going to tell us everything we need to know about who Ryan Garcia really is as a fighter. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really at stake in this fight, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, because February 21st is going to be must-see television, and I'll have all the analysis you need. I'll see you in the next one.
Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. Who you got in that fight?
Oh man. You know what? Kind of, it's a difficult decision because it depends on what Ryan shows up. If the explosive, fast, and strong Ryan shows up, he's got a really good chance.
He's got it. He's a champion.
However, if
Barrios got the belt.
Mario Barrios uses his experience, which he has, and we see the Ryan that fought Rolly, for example, then Barrios would win.
Okay, so
it kind of falls on Ryan, which Ryan shows up to fight.
If Ryan's on his game, you got Ryan?
I got Ryan.
Hey, you're a class act. Good luck on the. Hopefully, I think you're going to get into the International Hall of Fame.
I'm just being honest. He should not be fighting for a world title. And he's just coming off a loss. But the reality is what I said before. Social media is the reason why. Because Mario Barrios, even though he's a champion, he needs Ryan Garcia to get a big payday.
What do you think is the biggest weakness that Ryan still hasn't fixed yet?
I don't know. I mean, I think that, I don't know if it's his ability to fight. I don't think there's nothing wrong there. I think his mental. It's his mental because every time you don't know if he's playing or if he's, actually really going through something. So, I mean, I would say mental.
In Barrios.
February 21st, we have Ryan Garcia and Barrios. I mean, I'm getting a lot of mixed emotions with a lot of different people talking about this fight. Who do you think wins it? And speaking of the welterweight division, there's a lot of the younger guys coming up. You got the Tiger Johnsons that need to start getting these fights, the Polancos that need to get these fights. So we need the new breed to start getting the big stages as well with some good competition. But yeah.
I mean, I think Ryan and Barrios is actually a good fight, because when have we seen Ryan in the ring with somebody his height? You know what I'm saying? So I think we're looking at a real boxing match. Could he overwhelm Barrios? Yeah, but where is he mentally? Ryan Garcia has been spending time with YouTubers and streamers and shit like that. He ain't really been training. So what type of Ryan are we getting? I mean, are we gonna get the front runner Ryan who go in there and try his best for 2-3 rounds and then bull for the rest of the fight?
Well, I mean, just going into this fight, I know Ryan, he is, like I said, he is a dangerous opponent, and I think, he said it best himself, right? You never know what Ryan Garcia that you're gonna get, but him and his team, they're promising that he's focused, that he's training hard, and he's the sharpest he's ever looked and all this stuff. And that's why I said, I hope so, right? Because I know everything that I'm doing. You know, I know the type of performance that I'm looking to have, and no, I wouldn't want like a victory for me, you know, to be sold short because, you know, he's like, oh, I wasn't focused, or this or that, like, oh, like he was streaming or he was doing this,
drinking at the bar.
yeah, doing whatever.
Yeah, I think he knows this is his opportunity. This is his golden opportunity because he didn't technically or necessarily deserve this opportunity, but he has everything to gain, but yes, everything to lose as well. Back against the wall, you know, coming off a lost the tank as well. So